Astra H VXR induction kits replaces the crossover. So it's always known as a direct route induction kit on Astra H's and Astra GSIs. It replaces the aluminium crossover pipe and kind of direct routes the air from the air filter to the turbo. Traditionally, it was always to kind of remove a flat spot, but realistically, they kind of need mapping in. Any kind of changes to the airflow need mapping in. But what this does do, it gets rid of the airbox, opens up all that induction noise. It's bigger bore, so obviously more airflow. The bigger the bore, the better. And it's a direct fit kit. You don't need anything else for other than what we supply to you. The two different kits we offer, with breather and without breather. Now, this breather traditionally would go from the direct route around the back of the cam belt into the cam cover. So some people choose to run that kind of kit, which goes onto the spout here, and some people rather run without a breather and then run a catch tank setup, or something else entirely, like you just vent it to atmosphere, which probably wouldn't recommend, but plenty of people do it. All of our kits come with the JS Performance couplers, so with the black internal and then any colour on the outside, and then the oil breather on the kit with breather it's actually an oil resistant liner in there. So it is oil resistant. It's not oil proof. They don't last forever, unfortunately. It's kind of one of the issues of silicone. Really depends on the mileage of the car, but it will start to discolour over time. Again, the Astra H VXR is a heavy breather. They do push out quite a lot of oil out of these cam cover breathers, so it does tend to discolour the silicone. If you don't want that, the easiest thing is just to go for black, because black never discolours. Both options are stainless steel pipework, TIG welded. Now, the reason we use stainless steel over alloy would be better for an air intake, but the reason we use stainless steel is because we want to use a tight radius bend off the turbo. Now, onto the turbo. What you see with a lot of other kits that have come out since ours, trying to replicate it, is that they sit really high in the engine bay. And the reason they do that is because they're alloy pipework, and with the aluminium, it's a lot more expensive to produce it with a tight radius bend here. So the whole pipe overall sits higher up in the engine bay, and then they pretty much always rub on the bonnet. It's pretty well known that those kind of 2 or 3, they all tend to come from China. They're all manufactured probably by the same factory. They just don't fit very well. And if anything, it's probably given this kit a bad name over the years, but like I say, this kit is the only kit that does fit properly. Tight radius bend onto the turbo. The whole kit sits nice and low. It doesn't really sit, only sits about 1 inch higher than the cam cover. So it's a really nice low profile. It looks great in the engine bay because it's not sticking up really high. Again, it's another reason why we've gone for the kind of design couplers we've gone for. There's a very short transition between the turbo compressor cover diameter and then the pipework diameter. It's a very short reducer in there to try and keep the whole kit lower in the engine bay. So when that's pushed on there, the whole thing is kind of from turbo to the top, much shorter than any other kit you'll see. Currently, there are 3 different air filter options. You've got the ITG one, and then you've got the 2 Ramairs. So the first Ramair is the most popular one. It's just a standard foam filter, so it's like a dual layer foam. It's got a stainless steel internal wire meshing to give it the structure, and then a nice polymer moulded base. Again, these filters, we've used these filters for probably 3 or 4 years now, and the original ones were known for splitting at the neck quite a bit. Most of the time it was because they'd been tightened down a bit too tight, so the clip starts to dig in and then it kind of causes a cut which over time starts to tear. But they've solved that now. They're using a much thicker, much stronger material which is much more durable. So these Ramair filters are pretty much as good as it gets now, really. We offer both of the Ramair options. This one's called the Pro Ram. So this is your kind of cotton gauze style filter that have become quite popular over the last 18 months, 2 years. Again, rubber base, and then the cotton and gauze with the alloy anodized end and all their branding on, which they look pretty nice. These filters are probably one of the most aesthetic air filters you can get now, really. Obviously these look great. These are a really aesthetically pleasing air filter. So all of our kits, not just induction kits, any kind of coolant hose kits we sell or anything, all come with JCS high grip stainless steel clips. So these are definitely not cheap hose clips. As hose clips go, there's a lot out there. These are definitely on the expensive side, but once you start to compare them, it's one of those things. It's like once you start to compare hose clips, it might sound a little bit silly, but you can see why these are a lot more expensive. The worm drive portion is really thick, really robust stainless steel, so you really can't over torque them. They've got a nice radius on the inside edge, so when you really start to tighten them down, although they really can clamp into the silicone, they don't actually start to cut it at all. So again, when you've had that on there for a couple of years and you take it off, there'll be an indentation of where it's been in the silicone, but it won't like cut into it at all.